Hard Knocks was freaking amazing. Episode 1 is in the books, and we're going to recap it right now live here on the show. Let's roll. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Holy friggin' crap, guys. That Hard Knocks episode, sweet. Oh, baby. That was overflow. Here's a behind the scenes. Look at this. These are all these notes I took during the Hard Knocks episode. Man, there's so much to dive into. Hey, everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We are live technically on a Wednesday now. Hard Knocks comes out on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. But we'll be coming on and doing these live reaction shows. Jump on for however long you guys want to chat. I take a lot of notes. You guys can also hit me up on Twitter, @BoyGreen25. I'm going to continue to reveal my favorite clips from the show. I'll be cutting up clips and sending them really throughout the entire week leading into the next Hard Knocks episode. There's just so much juice. There's just so much awesome stuff that we're going to dive into, headlined, as you can see, by the Aaron Rodgers-Zach Wilson relationship. But there's so much other stuff, too, that we're going to dive into. So feel free to hop into the comment section, give your reactions. I thought it was brilliant. Shout out to the Hard Knocks crew. I know there was a lot of heat this offseason from New York Jet fans, from players, and they even played around with it at the beginning of Hard Knocks. You know, Aaron Rodgers, the quote of getting it shoved down our throats and that kind of stuff. And they kind of played around with that a little bit at the beginning. But it was overplayed. And overplayed in the sense that I think people said, oh, boy, it's going to be this big distraction, everything. But once the Jets opened up the receptacle, once the Jets opened up their arms and embraced it, it's been a beautiful thing. And this is only first episode. There will be 5 episodes every Tuesday night coming out at 10 o'clock. And so I'm looking forward to breaking down and going through all of that with you guys here live. I know Jake Asman's live right now. So many great live content that you guys can consume. But we had to come on live, and we will continue every week coming on live a little bit after. Although I will be going on a cruise to Bermuda in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So there will be a slight hiatus in some of these shows. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Let's start off. Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson. You know, here's the it's coming off cool, but they addressed it in the episode. It's tough, man. Zach Wilson was considered the franchise, the savior of the universe, and he got replaced by Aaron Rodgers this offseason. And most of the time, when you get replaced in that fashion, you're normally kicked off the team, and Zach Wilson would be playing backup or opportunity to start for some other scrub team. But the Jets stuck by their guns and brought him in. But it takes the right guy. I don't know if the Jets brought in Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo, who's hovering around 30 each, 30 years of age. Would that have been the same reception from Zach Wilson? Would he have been as cool with it? I'm not so sure. The fact that it's his idol, the fact that Aaron Rodgers is 39 years of age. So while Aaron Rodgers is taking his job, he knows that Aaron Rodgers is much closer to the end of his career than the beginning. That, to me, is incredibly fascinating. So that relationship's been cool. I thought Zach Wilson, quite frankly, was pretty candid, and that was cool to see. Again, we'll be continuing to share out clips. I've sent out a few before we started the show at some of the things I've been working on since the episode dropped 2 hours ago. But he was candid, saying that he wasn't having fun, getting smacked around. His confidence started to waver. Things were getting worse on a week-to-week basis, and he just seemed so refreshed this offseason that he was able to kind of take a step back and enjoy all of this. So it's been really cool to see. The no-look passes. There's a swag back with Zach Wilson. Again, he admitted the confidence was kind of shrinking. The fans were turning. Again, it was getting nasty last year. Let's just be honest. Let's be blunt. That's where we were going. And for Zach Wilson to get this chance to go back to the no-look passes, have a little hubbub. I was there. Obviously, you see the gear. I'm wearing the Hall of Fame polo and Hall of Fame shirt. I was there at the Hall of Fame for that preseason opener, New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, and that 57-yarder was cool. And then we see the Hard Knocks extra camera footage of Zach Wilson as he's running down the field after the 57-yard completion to Malik Taylor, the wide receiver. He says, that was a dime and a half, like just swagaliciously saying that to himself. And he runs into Mekhi, and they're hyping each other up, and he's saying, good protection, big man, and they go down. Man, the vibes are great. The vibes are high. So Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson, I'll just go through a couple highlights, and I'll answer any questions or comments you guys have. So that one's cool. Aaron Rodgers, Sean Payton joke right off the beginning. I'm not surprised they immediately went into that. That was some good stuff. The Rodgers-Revis Hall of Fame Curtis Martin appearance. Again, there's so much to dive into in this episode. Come on, the beginning, the original Jet, theme, and then the Rodgers Namath clips. They beautifully mixed together. That was so cool. Aaron Rodgers teaching the quarterbacks. Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas just geeking out over the fact that they have Aaron Rodgers. And then the Liev Schreiber stuff, who I love, Liev. I'm a big Ray Donovan fan, and he's been in obviously a lot of shows and a lot of movies. So that's kind of cool, a cool exclusive. So we saw One Jets Drive last night. We saw Hard Knocks this night. I would say at this point, if you're competing, although I think the competition is good for both, because Hard Knocks is going to bring the best out of One Jets Drive, and One Jets Drive will bring the best out of Hard Knocks. They're competing with one another, if you want to call it that. Although ultimately, we as fans are the ultimate winner because we get all this content. Obviously, content we're doing live right now on the show, but even more than that as well. So, phenomenal. But I would say Hard Knocks, the edge. And also, for those who don't know, Hard Knocks was flirting with whether or not to include the Dalvin Cook footage, and obviously they did not tonight. Big reason is because we're still floating on the answer. But if Dalvin Cook were to sign before the next episode, all of a sudden they can use all that footage that they captured from the behind the scenes of Dalvin Cook. So good stuff there. Yeah, and I have more notes than that, but let's get some commentary in here. Got Greg joining in. Hey, what's up, man? Jets Turbulence podcast. Oh boy, all kinds of controversy on the social media. Oh boy, that was a topic of conversation over the last couple days. But I can't wait as well. I think Zach's in a good position. There's no guarantee that he's going to have this remarkable comeback, but to have a chance at a comeback is what this has provided in my mind. Fans of the Green Bay Packers, hello. Zach's going to be a complete monster. Hopefully. Again, I think he can only help through, at a minimum, osmosis to be able to get some of that love from Aaron Rodgers. I think it only help. 50-50 chance of making the Super Bowl. I like those odds. Let's be honest. I think the Jets are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. They have all the pieces. Top 5 defense last year. Their special teams, which, by the way, is kind of flown under the radar. Fantastic. Not only in the Hall of Fame game, but that's just kind of a taste to remind you of what they are. Thomas Morstead, great punter. Greg Zuerlein, elite kicker. You feel great about that. And then Thomas Hennessy, long snapper, one of the best in the league. So you feel great about that. You had a top 5 defense, and you added Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the Jets should be firmly in the conversation. Again, the 50-50 or whatever percentage you want to throw out there, that is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The AFC is tough. The AFC East is tough. I ain't scared. Scared money don't make money, but it's the facts of the matter. So, but I'm looking forward to the challenge personally. I'm going to go Rodgers. Unless you're talking Packers, then also Jordan Love. So, thank you for that. Like I said, I don't think it would have worked out with Carr. It wouldn't have worked out with Jimmy Garoppolo because, again, the age is too close. When you're signing a guy like that, obviously at the outset, Garoppolo and Carr, in theory, is a 2, 3, 4 year thing, if not longer. And Zach Wilson's timeline doesn't mesh. Now, Aaron Rodgers, from all indications, is going to be here minimum 2 years and then beyond that. But still, there's a chance for it to all work out. Maybe it doesn't, but I think there's a chance. Yeah, the Coochie Plate. Who is that? Tanzel Smart? Nice. Again, Hard Knocks is going to give us... I took a couple of notes for some quick clips that'll be coming out on Twitter. They're only 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds a piece. But I took a bunch of notes while watching, and some of those we'll get out there. But that one was hilarious. That was good. Starting quarterback, starting wide receivers. Again, quarterback will be Aaron Rodgers. I know, big surprise there. Wide receivers, I think it's ultimately going to be Garrett. It's going to be Lazard, of course. And then Corey Davis, but probably Mecole Hardman. That's probably the combination. Mecole Hardman is the slot guy. Again, a lot of them are position versatile. I could see that. Hard Knocks made One Jets Drive look like a Jets Turbulence podcast. Oof. Well, again, I don't, I was on One Jets Drive a handful of months ago, so I love the folks over at 1JD. Like I said, I hope it raises everyone's game, which is great. But a lot of great footage from both, but in particular, Hard Knocks, slight lean there. O-line, I'm assuming predictions, Dave, here on our Facebook page. Again, the Dwayne Brown thing kind of scares me. I addressed it in an article earlier today for Heavy on Jets. Guys, feel free to check out all the content. We write articles every day covering the team. Robert Saleh gave a very concerning remark that Dwayne Brown isn't set to return for 2 weeks off the PUP list, and then he has to practice. And we're running out of time. We're less than 5 weeks from the season opener, believe it or not. Here, we're recording this on August 9th, technically a Wednesday. So, yeah. But let's assume he's good. You have Dwayne Brown. You have Lakin. You have probably Connor McGovern at this point, although Joe Tippmann, a very impressive performance against the Browns. AVT, right guard, and then right tackle, probably at this point, Max Mitchell. Although it gets pretty scary. If Dwayne ain't ready, then you have Billy Turner, Max Mitchell at offensive tackle. Maybe Becton can make up some time. And then center, maybe Joe Tippmann could do something. So we'll see. But yeah, that's obviously a question mark. That could definitely change things with the perception of the season. Ruben on Facebook. Sauce and Wilson footage was great to see. Iron sharpens iron. The respect for another makes it awesome. Yeah, again, we saw even the tease clip on social media earlier this week. But to your point, Ruben, I mean, the defensive rookie of the year versus the offensive rookie of the year, it's only going to help each other. And I loved, this was like an additional piece of the footage. Like, so Sauce had this great coverage play on Garrett. And then after the play, Sauce and Garrett are talking. Garrett's like, how did you get it? Were you holding me? And Sauce goes, no, I do this one technique. If I put my hand on your hip, and he went super integral. There were some intricacies. Hey, I did this, and I can know based on your eyes to do this. It was kind of like the other clip that was shared where Aaron Rodgers and Quinnen Williams are talking on the sideline, and Quinnen says, I was beating Lakin's Patuki because he was oversetting me, so I knew what move I was going to do. And Aaron Rodgers said, hey, did you tell that to Lakin? He's like, yeah, I'll tell him after practice. And Aaron jokes, so I'm going to tell him now so he could be more prepared. Because you want to help your teammates out. You don't just want to beat them like a drum. You want everybody to get something out of it, everybody to learn and gain value and things of that nature. So that's cool to me. Is that if Garrett beats Sauce, he's like, hey, I did this one move on you. You're a little susceptible to that. And vice versa. Sauce is like, hey, man, I was able to get you because you were too aggressive with your footwork or whatever. Awesome. We're in such a phenomenal position. Eric S., welcome to the show. Appreciate it. The Jets Turbulence podcast. You're a stud as always, man. Appreciate that. We'll always respect your work. You're the highlight of One Jets Drive. Oh, please. So stop it. You're going to make me blush. You're professional as they come. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Love doing the show. These shows are great. Tomorrow morning, by the way, so in a handful of hours, we'll try to get a little sleep in between. NFL insider Matt Lombardo of Fan Buzz will be joining us. He got a new gig, so shout out to Matt. So we'll get some NFL inside scoops on him. He also had a couple of articles on Jets land, so we'll get the latest from him and even get some of his thoughts, a different perspective on Hard Knocks. I don't think he's a fan of any team, but I think he grew up an Eagles guy, if I remember correctly. We'll find out tomorrow on the show, of course. But Matt Lombardo coming up at 7:30, and every day we have Boy Green Daily, every morning at 7:30, a live video show here on the show, here on the program. Love it. I will say, come on, how could we not? The opening speech of Robert Saleh was so friggin' cool. And you guys can go, I don't want to play this for any copyright infringement or things of that nature. Or I'd love to play you guys a couple of clips, but there's a chance for copyright, so I can't. But go to my Twitter, and all the clips are there. It was the first clip I sent out tonight, at BoyGreen25, by the way. Follow it on the scrolling ticker. But Robert Saleh was talking about that everyone wants the Jets to fail. And he referenced those people as crows. and he said that the only bird, here's your bird trivia, the only bird that will attack an eagle is a crow, and he'll get on the eagle's back and peck at its neck. Okay. And instead of the eagle turning around and trying to attack the crow, what it does is it just starts flying and soaring high into the sky and getting to all kinds of different altitudes that an eagle can reach that a crow can't. But the crow's trying to hang on for dear life. And ultimately, this was Saleh's example, that the eagle gets so high that the crow will ultimately suffocate and then come crashing back down to the earth. And his whole message and speech, which there's going to be a lot of haters, basically, for the Jets this year. And you don't have to just address everyone as they come, but handle your own business. And naturally, the crows are just going to fall off you as you continue to ascend to all the heights that you want to reach. So I thought it was an awesome message, awesome speech. It revved me up, and you have the Hard Knocks music playing lightly beneath it as we're transitioning. Really cool. So that was one of my favorite moments of the show, no doubt about it. Like I said, there's some random fun stuff that I really enjoyed, but that was a big one for me. Was the Robert Saleh speech. Again, what all these guys ultimately are is going to depend on, obviously, this is a results-oriented business. Joe Douglas is this talent evaluator, and Robert Saleh is this motivator of men. But the end of the day, it's about wins and losses. It's about being able to get that done. So I'm really impressed. I'm really inspired. It's fascinating to hear from all of this, but ultimately, the proof will be in the pudding. The proof will be in the pudding, as Jet Turbulence throws back on here. This is going to be a Woody Johnson question, who I believe he's supposed to be joining Jake Asman here in a week or two. So that's his big get from the Hall of Fame. So TBD on that. Right now, I think there's, I don't know all the stadium rules. I don't live, I live relatively close to New Jersey, I guess. I'm like 4 or 5 hours away, whatever it is. But apparently the Jets, I believe, have some sort of opt-out coming up in like 2025 or something. So they would, in theory, have an opportunity to build their own stadium, do their own thing. We will see if that happens. I can't really speak with any knowledge about that, or the accompanying areas, or where would be a good area. I don't know New York well enough. Like, I live in upstate New York. Oswego, which is over by Syracuse, 45 minutes out from Syracuse. I can't speak to the depth levels of that nature, but TBD. Although, like I said, I think there's an opt-out coming up. We got Dave here. Sadly, NFL Game Pass won't show Hard Knocks till August 11th. Can't wait. Oh, that sucks for you guys. Now, Dave, I will be honest. I used to do this back in the day. Then I just sucked it up because my fiance loves a lot of shows on HBO. I'm pretty sure you could time out a free trial and get almost all the episodes of the Jets, or use a different email the second time or something. You should be able to get most of that for free, and then you'll be watching it on the Max, or everyone's changing things. We're Twitter, now it's X. It was HBO, now it's Max Stream or some dumb thing. I don't know. But the point is, I'm pretty sure you can time out your free trial and get a pretty good run off of that stuff before you have to pay, if you don't want to. I will just tell you this, so Dave, as someone that doesn't seem like that's seen the first episode yet, or anyone who hasn't seen it, whether you're joining us live, super late here, like I said, technically on a Wednesday morning, late on a Tuesday night, or whatever your situation is, I would highly recommend. The footage was great. There was an exclusiveness there, which I love. They covered a lot of things that we hadn't seen. That was a criticism I saw of One Jets Drive last night, although you have to start somewhere. They kind of did a really good job of surface leveling the stuff we knew, the Aaron Rodgers trade and things of that nature, but giving us some cool, exclusive one-on-one interviews, some content we hadn't seen. Again, the Aaron Rodgers-Zach Wilson relationship, some of the jokes and playful banter that's happening in Jets camp. Obviously, the Hall of Fame game, so we got some footage on that. I don't think One Jets Drive touched any of that yesterday. So, again, it'll be nice to get these competing things, because ultimately, like I said, we as fans will continue to be the winner of that. But it's fun. Yeah, so we're going to get 5 episodes. We got 4 more to go every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. And boy, it was sexy. It was fun. It was cool. And I have many more clips to share, but it was cool, the Mekhi Becton, Zach Wilson moment. Nathaniel Hackett, the team kind of coming to his defense of the Sean Payton stuff. And the fact that could potentially galvanize the team, I thought was pretty fascinating. Robert Saleh was really good. Unsurprising there. A lot of swearing. I'm all about that. That's fine. It's HBO, baby. That's what happens. So, yeah, there's a lot of that. And then in terms of the tease for the future, Dalvin Cook situation, do we get any kind of update on that from that perspective? And I'm trying to think of anything else. And then obviously the preseason games. The Jets are in joint practices tomorrow and Thursday against Carolina Panthers. They play on Saturday at 4 o'clock. The following week, they have 2 joint practices against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then that preseason game. Then the following week, the preseason finale against the New York Giants. No joint practices scheduled for that week, although Roberts always said they could reapproach that in the future. So we got a lot of things popping, baby. I'm going to just be honest. Again, it revved my freaking engine. Hard Knocks was awesome. The music's great. Liev Schreiber, I love a lot. The storylines were juicy. It was fresh. So I hope that all those people that were whining and complaining that, Hard Knocks, I'm not going to watch. I know all you bastards turned on the tube. I know you guys were all watching it. I know you were all doing that sort of thing. So it's fine. But this is why I said, come on, people, with the complaining. The team was going to embrace it. They since have. And it's time for the fans to embrace it. It's more content for you to consume. Why wouldn't you want that if you're a Jets fan at the end of the day? Honestly. That's the truth. All right, guys, this will be a shorter episode tonight, but we'll be back in the future, again, doing this. I'll be back on in a handful of hours because, again, we have NFL insider Matt Lombardo joining us on Boy Green Daily live tomorrow morning, or technically this morning in a handful of hours. So make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We'll try to do some more of this Hard Knocks recap episodes, give you guys more clips. Again, all of that is coming up. And you guys can see those clips on my Twitter account at BoyGreen25. Because of copyright, I can't replay those clips here on the show, or will be taken down like an FBI minivan out my front yard. But you guys can check out the clips. I will continue to share them throughout the week, and I already have some saved that will be continuing to drop. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for this quick Hard Knocks recap episode. Hope you guys are enjoying all the content, and we'll be back